So just to the owner of a silver Mitsubishi utility, you're parked on the bottom tier on the asphalt. We need you to move your vehicle. That'll be registration number EUK06H. There's plenty of parks further down where we can bring you down and park, but if you could please move the silver Mitsubishi utility parked on the bottom tier. We have a truck actually waiting, so if you could do that immediately, it would be very beneficial to us. Thank you. So just an announcement, today, available today and tomorrow, there will be some Willinga Park bus tours. They're available from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. throughout the day. The bus tours will take you across the whole park and show you the history of Willinga Park and Terry's vision for the property. The tour takes about 25 to 30 minutes and tickets will be available now at the information stand. It's $10 per adult, and pickup will be at the roundabout below the info stand. So that I suggest, if you haven't seen the property, it is a wonderful tour to take the 20 to 30 minute tour of Willinga Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not that far away from starting here on our Gold Buckle semi-final competition. And just a reminder to all competitors, you'll take note that our two judges and officials here of this draft, Mr. Joe Payne and Mr. Jonathan McDonald, have altered the position of the gate. And of course, that's something that everyone needs to take into account. The gate has been moved in, so make certain that you are sure that has been advised. The gate has been changed from the previous two rounds of competition. Now, we are still waiting anxiously for the owner of a silver Mitsubishi Ute parked at the bottom tier. Now, that's in the camping tier on the asphalt. Of course, it's the bottom level. It's a silver Mitsubishi Ute parked on the bottom tier of the camping area. Registration EUK06H. Registration EUK06H. That vehicle needs to be moved immediately or it will be towed away, as there is a rather large truck booked in that parking area for a silver Mitsubishi Ute parked in the bottom tier of the camping area. Well, our judges are set. Our competitors are making their way down to the arena. The cattle have settled in the camp, and we are getting set for one of the most exciting semi-finals that we've seen in many years here at Willinga. This is semi-final of our Willinga Park Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship camp drafting for 2025. Our first competitor into the camp will be Ben Rossiter. Ben joins us from Willinga on the eastern side of Tamworth, and he'll be riding KB Exclusive Oak. Second out will be Bradley Comiskey with Travel Light. Number 3 in here in the semi-final, Pete Comiskey comes back with Raunchy Dad, and number 4 will be Matthew Moffat with She Be a Cat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are underway. KB Exclusive Oak. First competitor, Ben Rossiter, joins us from Loombra on his very own nomination. Into the camp following will be Bradley Comiskey with Travel Light. Number 3, Pete Comiskey with Raunchy Dad. And number 4, Matt Moffat. Well, this is where we start from scratch. You've got to earn the right, end up in that top 25 to 30 competitors. Of course, that will be finalised once the scoring has completed at the end of 121 competitors. But a great way to start for Ben Rossiter. These cattle from Willinga. What a great start for our Loombra-based contestant, Ben Rossiter. Scores will be through. And a great way to start, Ben. We've got a 22 points for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for course, and he has straight up first out 88.5 in the semi-final, 88.5. Well, that's going to give a little bit of motivation to the rest of our 120 competitors. Bradley Comiskey joins us next from Emerald in Central Queensland, riding Briony Comiskey's nomination, Travel Light. Well, it is certainly going to make for some tough camp drafting here this morning in this semi-final. Gold Buckle Championship, Bradley Comiskey with Travel Light. Scores are being posted from our two official judges, Mr. Joe Payne, Mr. Jonathan McDonald. Scores are through for Bradley. We have got a camp of 21, 56 points for horsework, 3 for course in this round, a total of 80 points. 8-0 for Brad Comiskey and Travel Light. Looking down into the camp, a man that we're very familiar with here at Willinga this time, it'll be Pete Comiskey, riding Jordan McDowell's nomination from Nebo, Raunchy Dad. At number 4, we'll have Matthew Moffat at the gate. Number 5 will be Matt Holtz with Con Ellen. Number 6 will be John Turby with Fable. Well, on this occasion, our third competitor, Pete Comiskey with Raunchy Dad, will have a camp score of 22. 22 for Pete Comiskey and Raunchy Dad. This is the sudden death semi-final. Of course, this is the one round that you do need to perform. You need to end up in that top end. 25 to 30 competitors generally make their way through to that final, competing for $235,000 here tomorrow afternoon, with a first prize winner gold buckle of $100,000 in cash prize money. On camp, number 4 in our competition, we're joining from Cabra, Queensland. Matthew Moffat will be riding She Be a Cat. This is Matt's own nomination. Will be followed in camp by Matt Holtz with Con Ellen and John Turvey with Fable. And a very special thanks to the Willinga team for the livestock and cattle that we're seeing here in this semi-final. Man, oh man, it's going to be a tough draft throughout the course. With that contestant, Matt Moffat, featured in many of our finals here over the last few years of competition. On that occasion, he was riding She Be a Cat. Camp score of 22.5, 22.5. So we clear the arena. We move down to our 5th competitor here in the semi-final. This should be our contestant representing the Kooyong Pastoral nomination. This is Matt Holtz riding their horse, Con Ellen. Makes his home these days in Jindera. Into the camp, our next competitor will be number 6, John Turvey with Fable. Number 7, Troy Palmer, not that far away. And number 8 will be Hugh Miles with Tilly. Well, he's been back and won this championship on 2 occasions previously. Matt Holtz is trying to once again establish himself in that final here for Saturday afternoon. It's a very sound performance. 22 points for cutout, 62 points for horsework, 4 for course. Matt Holtz, Con Ellen, representing the Kooyong Pastoral Company, has a score of 88. Puts him into 2nd place in this round so far. We watch on course John Turvey. John joins us from St. George. He is one of the managers of the March properties there in southeast Queensland, riding his nomination, Fable. Qualified well through the rounds here in the first and second day of competition. And that will complete John Turvey's day here this morning, riding favour with a camp score of 22. 22 points on that occasion for John Turvey and Fable. Just while we get set for our next competitor, that'll be Troy Palmer riding Binya Convoy, followed by number 8, Hugh Miles with Tilly. Now, the Willinga Park bus tours, Friday and Saturday, available today and tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. The tour takes you across the entire park and shows you the history of Willinga Park and Terry's vision for the property. The tour takes approximately 25 to 30 minutes, and tickets are available from the information stand under the main grandstand area for $10 per ticket for adults. Please come and book your seats on the bus. Tickets are selling fast, so make sure you book your seat. Pickup will be from around about below the information stand area. If you'd like to see the complete tour of Willinga Park, book those tickets through the information booth. On camp, on course at this stage is Binya Convoy. This is Troy and Fiona Palmer's nomination from Coolah, ridden by Troy in his semi-final of our Gold Buckle Ringers Western Championship round. Well, pretty much on his way through. Our 7th competitor here this morning, Troy Palmer, Binya Convoy. Fiona and Troy's horse is certainly starting to embark on a very successful career. Books his ticket, 22.5 in the camp, 61.5 for horsework, 4 for course, and our semi-final, 88 points. It's a two-way tie for second at this stage. Move right along, another man that's going to put a little pressure on. This is Hugh Miles. Makes his journey down from Tamworth this season. Hugh Miles' own nomination, Tilly. In this division, he will be followed by Lockie Sim into the camp with Destiny Cherry. Wyatt Young at the gate with Metallic Storm, and Andrew Turvey with Cats and Roses, not that far away. And we've got one done on that occasion, Hugh Miles, riding Tilly, who has been a great supporter of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle Championship from as long as I care to remember, but stamps his ticket in this qualifying round with the 23 points for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for course. Judges see that as an 89.5, 89.5. Well, we're not wasting any time. These cattle are running true, and they are certainly giving plenty of opportunity. Lockie Sim on camp from New South Wales this time. Makes his home in Holbrook, riding the Sim family nomination, Destiny Cherry. Well, once again, under that time limit, it is like clockwork here to watch the Willinga Gold Buckle semi-final competition. Lockie Sim, it was on that occasion, from Holbrook here in New South Wales, riding the Sim family nomination, Destiny Cherry. Scores through Lockie, we have a 22 points for cutout, 61 points for horsework, 4 for course, 87 in this round. Sits into about number 5 at this stage. On camp, this time we are getting set to go with Wyatt Young, riding Metallic Storm, Syndicate nomination. Wyatt himself makes his home in Tamworth. Great team of horses, enjoyed a lot of success here in the qualifying rounds, but today is where it really matters, where you need to step up to the plate. Book your ticket in this championship round. And we've got him through that gate, Wyatt Young, Metallic Storm, and the Metallic Storm syndication group. As the scores come through, we'll have Andrew Turvey in the camp with Cats and Roses. We then move to number 12, will be Peter Bolton with Alamo, and 13 will be Zeb Pierce. Scores through for Metallic Storm, we've got a 16 points for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for course, 80.5 for Metallic Storm. Well, here's a guy that we've watched and enjoyed his competition the last 2 rounds. This is Andrew Turvey, down from Wandoan in Queensland, his own nomination, Cats and Roses. Placed in the first 2 rounds of competition. Well, cuts a fine line on the first peg, but staying cool and calm under pressure. The completion of this event today, we move into the shootout of our maiden draft. That's scheduled around about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then the move on to the final of our novice shootout competition. Well, Andrew Turvey, he's done that more than nearly anybody here this weekend. Full course under the time that is required, and we are going to see Andrew back, I'm pretty sure, on Saturday afternoon. Cats and Roses, ultra consistent, 23 points for cutout, 62 points for horsework, 4 for course, and an 89 into second place in our competition. Andrew Turvey, 8-9. Well, we move to our next competitor. We welcome into the camp from Hayfield, Victoria. This will be Peter Bolton's nomination, Alamo. Got a camp score of 16.5 for Peter Bolton and Alamo. We move to number 13 in our competition. This will be Zeb Pierce. Riding Jack Henkel's nomination from Walker, northern New South Wales, up in a beautiful New England region, will be Zeb Pierce with Dual Ray Kitty. Number 14 will be Pete Comiskey at the gate with Nash Vale Roy L. Destiny. Righty Puddicombe's nomination. We'll have 15 Troy Palmer back with Totem, and 16 will be David Murphy with Clear Choice Kontiki. Well, so close. Just that little added pressure here on semi-final day. Zeb Pierce with Dual Ray Kitty, it was on that occasion. Scores through come on this occasion. Zeb Pierce, Dual Ray Kitty, 22 points for cutout, 59.5 for horsework, 3 for course, 84.5. Well, as our second time round here in the semi-final, we go to Nebo and Bridie Puddicombe's nomination, Nashvale Roy L. Destiny, ridden on this occasion by Pete Comiskey. Number 15 at the gate will be Troy Palmer with Totem. Number 16 will be David Murphy with Clear Choice Kontiki. And at number 17 will be Shane Corbold with Harris. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he has certainly delivered here on semi-final day. Pete Comiskey, he has won this championship on 2 previous years from Nebo, Queensland. And boy, he is going to make a big challenge this season. Riding Nashvale Roy L. Destiny, 23 points for cutout, 64 points for horsework, Fourth course, a new leader at the top of the pack, 91 points. Pete Comiskey here on semi-final day was certainly like snuck up on the world and came in with a 91 points in this division. He is number 14 in our semi-final, of which we have 121 competitors. We move to number 15 in the competition. This time it'll be Troy Palmer's nomination from Coolah, New South Wales. Totem. Number 16, David Murphy with Clear Choice Kentucky. 17, Shane Corbold with Harris. We are out on course at this point of time. We are watching Troy Palmer. Little horse he rides is called Totem. Comes into this competition. He'll be followed by David Murphy with Clear Choice Kentucky. Well, I tell you what, if Pete Comiskey's going to be there, Troy Palmer's not far off the money. He has certainly put some pressure on, and this final just gets interesting as the event unfolds, and we're seeing some great runs, some great rides. And on this occasion, 21 points for cutout for Troy, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for course, 87.5. 87.5 for Troy Palmer and Totem. Number 16 in the camp. This time we welcome back from Talbot, Victoria. Nominated by the Kirkby Stud Stock Horses, this is David Murphy riding Clear Choice Kentucky. Followed at the gate by Shane Corbold with Harris. And number 18 will be David Andrews with Conspiracy. We are watching on course at this point of time, Clear Choice Kentucky, ridden by David Murphy, representing the Kirkby Stud Stock Horses. Into the camp next, we want Shane Corbold with Harris, David Andrews with Conspiracy at number 18, and 19 will be Toby White with Smith Family Dossier. Scores coming through on this occasion for David Murphy, Clear Choice Kentucky. We've got a camp score of 22. 63 points for horsework, 4 for course. Once again, it's an 89-point score. 89 equals third, fourth, fifth at this stage at contestant number 16. Number 17, we are welcoming back, this time from Ramsey. Queensland competitor Shane Corbold riding Harris. Number 18 will be David Andrews with Conspiracy at the gate. Toby Waite not far away. At number 19 and 20, we'll see Matt Moffat back with Conflict. A camp score of 22 points for Shane Corbold, a camp score of 22. And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, while you're here at the Willinga Park, don't forget to take that time and wander over to the trade site area, and of course visit that signature bull, Ringer's Western. Magnificent semi-trailer of all equipment. They've got some great deals for the online specialists, 25% discount, but you must do that online throughout your time here at Willinga. Will Whips, custom-made whips, Kilmore Saddlery, Palomino Jewellery, the Foresight Group, and plenty more to see in our Tradeside area throughout the course of the next 2 days. We are watching on camp David Andrews and Conspiracy. David joins us from Aberdeen in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales. He'll be followed into the camp by Toby White with Smith Family Dulcie. Well, I don't care anywhere in Australia. You watch a semi-final of a camp drafting competition. The horsemanship, the quality of livestock and cattle from Willinga represented here this weekend, giving every competitor an opportunity. And that time it was David Andrews' opportunity with Conspiracy. Scores come through for David Andrews. Conspiracy, 22 points for cutout, 64 points for horsework, 4 for course. Has moved him, made room at the top. Second place with 90 points in total for David Andrews. Conspiracy, 90 points. Number 19 in the draw, we welcome back on this occasion from Carlisle River in Victoria. This is Toby White, riding Smith Family Dulce. Rochelle Hinchberger's nomination, ridden by Toby White. Have a camp score of 22 for Toby on that occasion, 22. Next into the camp from Canberra this time, our next contestant from Queensland will be Matthew Moffat, riding Conflict, Cameron Parker's nomination. 21 at the gate will be Matt Holtz with Traditional Acres, 22 will be Wyatt Young with Hard Wide, and 23 will be Sam Campbell. And for the folks at home watching our live stream presentation at the conclusion of our semi-final here today of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Drafting Championship, we will move in at approximately 2 o'clock with the maiden shootout final and presentation, and then it will be the shootout of the novice horses of the final presentation. And tonight at 6:30 we come back with the cutout, and that will be the final of that particular event. So a big afternoon, Friday the 16th of May here at Willinga. And then the party starts at 7:30 tonight. We've got on the main stage the entertainment group Chris McGrath, one of our local entertainers, and he will get the party started at 7:30 here this evening. We have got Matthew Moffat. We've got a camp score of 22 for Matthew and Conflict, a camp score of 22 only. Next competitor on camp as we speak, looking down at 21 in the camp. This will be Matt Holtz, riding Andrew Sheridan's nomination, Traditional Acres. Matt these days makes his home at Jindera. And once again, as he's done through the qualifying rounds with Traditional Acres, makes that job completed under the time limit here in this round of our semi-final. Scores are official for Matt Holtz and Traditional Acres. We've got a camp score of 23. 60.5 for horsework, 4 for course, 87.5. 87.5. We move on to number 22 in the competition. This time it will be Wyatt Young. Makes his home these days in Tamworth. This is Peel and Jody Tribe's nomination, Hard Wired. We're going to have a camp score only of 22.5 for wide in this opening round. 22.5 with hard wide cutout score. 23 onto the camp as we clear the arena will be Sam Campbell. Sam joining us these days from Goombara, originally from that Tamworth region. Nominated by Sarah Campbell, Banshay Con I. Number 24 at the gate will be Dean Rogers with Do Be Lucky. And 25 in the competition, Hugh Miles is back with More Spoonful. We are currently watching on the course Sam Campbell, Banshay Con I. Well, completes that course once again. So many full courses here in the semi-final. That was competitor number 23, Sam Campbell. And the scores are coming through. Becomes official for Sam here in this round of the competition. 23 points for cutout, 61.5 for horsework, 4 for course, 88.5. 88.5 puts him into equal top 6 at this place. 88.5 and Sam Campbell. Number 24 on camp, this is Dean Rogers. Makes his home at Bega here on the south coast, riding his very own nomination, Do Be Lucky. Dean will be followed at the gate by Hugh Miles with More Spoonful at 25, and 26 will be Stephen Hart with Heart's Eclipse. We are watching on course Dean Rogers, Do Be Lucky. Leading our competition at this stage, 91 points. Right out on top is Pete Comiskey with Nashvale Roy L. Destiny, the highest score we've seen thus far here this weekend. Second highest was David Andrews from Aberdeen with Conspiracy with a score of 90. And Dean Rogers' score comes official. Do Be Lucky and Dean Rogers have a camp score of 15. 54 for horsework, 4 for course, 73 in our semi-final here this morning. 73. Move down to the next competitor at 25. 25 in the camp will be Hugh Miles. You riding Peter Doonan's nomination, More Spoonful. Hugh Miles these days makes his home on the eastern side of Tamworth. He'll be followed by Steve Hart with Heart's Eclipse at 26. 27 will be Ben Rossiter. And 28 into the camp will be Michael Hiscock riding Dolly. On course, we are watching Tamworth's Hugh Miles in action, riding More Spoonful. Stephen Hart next into the camp, please, Steve, with Heart's Eclipse. And then we move to Ben Rossiter's back with Miss Lorena Wood. Well, that's what we've been waiting for. We've got one nailed here in this round in the semi-finals for Hugh Miles. Riding More Spoonful. Hugh representing Mr. Peter Doonan's nomination. Scores come through. We've got a 23 points for cutout, 63.5 for horsework, 4 for course. And we're going to reshuffle the leaders board. Shifts him up to number 2 in the competition with a 90.5. Hugh Miles, More Spoonful, 90.5 into number 2 spot at this early stage. We move on to number 26 in the competition. This time we have back into the camp. This will be Steve Hart, Googong, New South Wales competitor. Hart's Eclipse will be followed by number 27 at the gate, Ben Rossiter with Miss Lorena Wood. 28, Michael Hiscock with Dolly. And 29, we see Andrew Turvey back with Playful. A camp score for Steve Hart with Heart's Eclipse. A camp here this morning of 21 points for Steve Hart and Heart's Eclipse. Move on down through the list of contestants at number 27 in our Willinga Park Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship Campdraft semi-final round. 121 competitors back for the semi-final, and it all starts right here, right now. And of course, if you want to bank your ticket, you're going to have to be in the high 80s and early 90s at this early procedure. Ben Rossiter, number 27 on your list here in the semi-finals. Ben Rossiter from Loombra, New South Wales, riding Miss Lorena Wood. We'll have next into the camp will be Michael Hiscock with Dolly, number 29 Andrew Turvey with Playful, and number 30 will be Jared Sutton with Miranda. The camp score for Ben Rossiter, Miss Lorena Wood, a camp score of 23.5. Down to number 28 in our competition. This time it'll be once again Michael Hiscock. He's enjoyed success here in the years gone by. This is Pat and Luke Hardwick's nomination from Mafra. Michael Hiscock, one of our interstate visitors from Victoria, riding Dolly. Be followed by 29, Andrew Turvey, Playful, 30, Jared Sutton, Miranda, and 31 will be Toby Rope with Holly. Well, a little disappointing on this occasion. Michael Hiscock with Dolly were at a camp score of 23. Next competitor on camp on this occasion will be Andrew Turvey from Wandoan, Queensland. He is on one of the Willinga Park horses. This is Playful. Andrew's already enjoyed success thus far this weekend. He is number 29 in our semi-final. Number 30, Jared Sutton. 31 will be Toby Rope. And Rob Leach is back at number 32. Well, a little disappointing on that occasion. However, we cannot blame the horse. That is a little horse called Playful. That is one of the Willinga Park horses that will be actually sold this weekend. And if anybody's watching via our live stream or here on the ground in person, best man to talk to is Andrew Turvey. That horse has made some great runs in the rounds to qualify here for this event. And she is one of the Willinga horses that will be sold throughout the course of our next 2 days of competition. Look on down, number 30. Our next contestant will be Jared Sutton. Jared joins us from Trafalgar. He is riding Peter and Joe Body's Nomination Miranda. Just a reminder, don't forget the VIP tent. The VIP tent is the great big white marquee with the clear plastic fronting. The VIP tent will be once again open today for the public, and we welcome you to the beer tasting. The bar will be open from 4 till 9 p.m, a great place to relax, watch the cutout championship final round, and if you'd like to make your way over there, certainly the public are welcome to the VIP tent today, and of course from 4 until 9 p.m. this evening. We had a camp score earlier for Andrew Turvey of 30. Unfortunately for Jared Sutton, we are going to not have a score in this round of the competition. We are watching On Course. This is Toby Rope's Nomination Holly from Bawley here in New South Wales. Be followed by 32 on camp, Robert Leach with Peel Vale Truce. 33 is Pete Comiskey's back. And 34 will see Timworth's Timmy Hollis at number 34. Camp score of 20.5. 20.5 for Toby Rope, riding Holly 20.5. On camp, 32 in the semi-final. 32 is Rob and Lee Leach's nomination from Matunga, New South Wales, Peel Vale Truce. Followed by number 33, Pete Comiskey, Irvine's Just Jim at Camp Gate, and 34, Tim Hollis, not that far away. We are watching Rob Leach on course from Matunga, New South Wales, riding Peel Vale Truce. However, that is going to conclude his day in this round of the competition. Fortunately for Rob Leach and Peel Vale Truce at number 32. Our next competitor, number 33 on camp. This is R&B Puddingham's nomination. Irvine's Just Jim, ridden by Pete Comiskey. Well, we've seen this combination here on many occasions here in Willinga, and certainly have been a part of our championship round on Super Saturday. And of course, Peter looking to stamp his ticket once again here this afternoon with Irvine's Just Jim. Next on camp, Dolcara Victoria with Tim Hollis, Troy Palmer at 35, and number 36, Matthew Moffat. With a camp score today for Pete Comiskey on Irvine's Just Jim of 22 points for cutout, but still holds the number one seed at this point of time in our semi-final with a 91, riding Nashvale Roy L. Destiny as the highest mark score thus far in our semi-final. On camp, this time, Tim Hollis, Dolcara Victoria. Little horse he rides, this is Tim and Amanda Hollis's nomination. Looking to book his ticket. Looks good. I tell you what, that's going to make the family back home. I know Kerry will be watching closely on that live stream, and Tim Hollis' scores come through here with Dolcara Victoria. 22 points for cutout, 64 points for horsework, 4 for course, 90 points puts him into around about third place at this stage. Tim Hollis, Dolcara Victoria, books his ticket, stamps it for a Saturday afternoon. 35 in the competition will be Troy Palmer with Look Smart in Blue. 36 will be Matt Moffat, Future Dreams. 37, Neil Huckins with Troy. We're watching On Course, Look Smart in Blue. This will be Troy Palmer riding Doug Jamison's nomination. Troy and his lovely wife Fiona make their home there in Coolah. And he will keep his father-in-law pretty happy here this afternoon, Doug Jamison. Well done, Doug. Look Smart in Blue, Troy Palmer in the saddle. That was competitor number 35 in our competition. And scores are through for Look Smart in Blue. 23 points for cutout, 63 points for horsework, 4 for course. We've got another score of 90 points, 9-0 for Troy Palmer and Look Smart in Blue. We move to number 36 in the competition, Matthew Moffat. Future Dreams, number 37 will be Neil Huckins with Troy, 38 Sandy Bennett, and 39 we'll see Bradley Comiskey back with Precious Duck. Well, it's going to be a camp score for Future Dreams and Matthew Moffat. That's D and J Bell's nomination. Future Dreams, Matthew Moffat's got a camp score of 22. 22 as a camp score here in this round. Number 37 in the competition of Bega on the south coast will be Neil Huckins on nomination. This will be Troy. 38 at the gate, we will require Sandy Bennett with This Baby Smart. 39, Bradley Comiskey. And 40, we'll see Lara Garlick back. We've got a camp score of 20.5 for Troy and Neil Hookins. Camp score of 20.5. On the camp this time from Dundee, northern New South Wales, in a beautiful part of the northern New England. This will be Luke Bennett's nomination, ridden by Sandy Bennett, this Barbie Smart, followed by Bradley Comiskey at 39, 40 Lara Garlick, and 41 will be Matt Holds. Outside on the main arena, we are watching Sandy Bennett in action. Sandy joining us from Dundee, riding this Barbie Smart. And for Sandy Bennett, with this Barbie Smart, we have got a camp score of 16. 56 points for horsework, 3 for course, 75 in this semi-final round, 7-5. We move down to our next competitor. We welcome back, this time from Emerald, Central Queensland. This will be Bradley Comiskey's nomination. Precious Duck, he'll be followed by Lara Garlick with Jazzy Little Chisholm at the gate. Matt Holtz will be 41. Mick Southern will be number 42. On course and outside, Bradley Comiskey it is with Precious Duck. Lara Garlick will make her way into the camp. Matt Holtz at 41, 42 Mick Southern, 43 will be Lockie Sim. And we have a camp score. Camp score for Bradley Comiskey of 22. 22 in this round of the competition, 22. Just while we do have a few moments, and as Lara Garlick selects her beast in the camp, a special thanks once again to Foresight, principal partners of our Willinga Championship Gold Buckle. Foresight provides quality joint supplements for not only our equine and canine friends, but also for us as humans. You can scan the QR code around the venue for your chance to win a supply of Foresight Epilatus for your horse, valued at over $900. Scientifically proven to prevent, treat and maintain joint health in your horses. Foresight, whether you're in training, competition or everyday movements, Foresight supports the joint health at every stage. With the power of Epilatus, this helps maintain mobility, keep horses performing at their best by slowing the progression of osteoarthritis. Well, Foresight, they are our principal partners of our Willinga Championship Gold Buckle as we watch in Lara Garlick riding Jazzy Little Chisholm. Makes her home these days in Kudao. Scores come official for Jazzy Little Chisholm, Lara Garlick, 21 points for cutout. 62 points for horsework, 4 for course, 87 in this round of the competition. We move right along to Gindera contestant. This will be Matt Holtz, representing the Kooyong Pastoral Proprietary Limited with Hazelwood Country Blues. Well, that will complete Matt Holtz's day with that little horse, Hazelwood Country Blues. We've got a camp score coming through for Matt of 22 in this round, in the semi-final at 22. Well, we move to number 42 in the competition, Mick Southern, Nebo President. MF and ML Southern's nomination from Surat, Queensland, has been one of our big go-round winners in the qualifying rounds this weekend. But as you can call it what you like, however, Mick Southern's weekend comes to a stop on this occasion at number 42. He will take a camp score of 23. Nebo President, camp score of 23. So next competitor makes his way into the camp. This will be Royal Ella. This is A. Kilmartin and A. Sims's nomination. Ridden by Lockie Sim from Holbrook, New South Wales, Royal Ella. It'll be followed by number 44, Wyatt Young with Sheedy Spin and Pepsi. 45 will be Jane Fitzgerald. And 46 will be Catherine Henksberger. Well, unfortunately, Joe Payne, Jonathan McDonald have seen sufficient from Lockie in this round. That will be a no camp score for Lockie Sim at number 43 in our competition. 121 competitors competing here today for the semi-final. And a very special thanks to several of our event partners making it all possible here this weekend, including Construction Control. They provide construction and building service at Willinga Park on a yearly basis. Special thanks to the ECM Livestock team, providing livestock services and exceptional cattle for our Willinga Park competition this weekend. To Ben Max, providing the legal mechanical services at Willinga. And Netia, providing the IT solutions. Bishops are the official feed provider for all of our competitors' horses this weekend. And Wade Equine, manufacturer of bespoke and luxury equine coaches. Visit them in the trade villages. They're just a few of our many supporters that continually back up our Willinga competition. We are watching on course competitor number 44. This is Wyatt Young. Wyatt riding his own nomination from Tamworth called Sheedy Spin and Pepsi. Into the camp next at 45, we'll have Jane Fitzgerald with Conserine. 46, Catherine Henksberger, and 47 will be Lee Rogers. Well, we're getting done, Wyatt. We've got Sheedy Spin and Pepsi through that gate under the time that is required. Scores become official. 19.5 for cutout, 62 points for horsework, 4 for course, brings him in with an 85.7. 85.7 for Wyatt Young and Sheedy Spin and Pepsi. Next on camp, we'll look down. Should be on this occasion Jane Fitzgerald with Conserine. 46, Catherine Hanksberger, and 47, Lee Rogers. 48 will be Hugh Miles and Summer Rain. We are watching on camp from Tamworth, this representing the Fitzgerald family, with Jane Fitzgerald riding Consorine. She'll be followed into the camp by Catherine Hanksberger, 47 Lee Rogers, 48 Hugh Miles. And the camp score of 21 here in the semi-final for Jane Fitzgerald, a camp score of 21. Several of the many partners that have all contributed to make this event possible, and a very special thanks to John Bergman from the Rawhide Saddlery, providing the prestigious Gold Buckle Champion custom saddle presented to the winner of the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft Champion. Lanark Volkswagen and Ram, the Lanark Motors. Visit them here at our trade village throughout the course of the next 2 days. And a special thanks to the Australian Quarter Horse Association, supporting the highest placed registered quarter horse in the Gold Buckle Final. Watching on camp, this is Catherine Hanksberger riding her nomination, Budgeroo Cindy, from the Carlisle River out of Victoria. Lee Rogers will be our next competitor on camp with Darley Sweet Chili. Hugh Miles at 48 and 49 will be Troy Palmer. 22 for the cutout for Catherine Hanksberger, 22 with Budgeroo Cindy. We are watching on camp at this point of time, number 47 in your catalogue. This is Lee Rogers joining us this weekend from Bega here on the south coast, riding Darley Sweet Chili. Into the camp next, we will have Hugh Miles with Summer Rain, followed by Troy Palmer at 49, and number 50 will be Ash Sheehan. Camp score comes through for Lee Rogers. It is solid at 23.5. 23.5 for Lee Rogers. 48 on camp. We will welcome back Hugh Miles' nomination. From Tamworth, Summer Rain. 49 at the gate, Troy Palmer, Binya Sequil. And 50 will be Ash Sheehan with Sheehan's Legacy. We've got a score coming through for that competitor. Scores come through for Hugh Miles, and it was a riding Summer Rain. We've got a camp score of 22.5, 64 for horsework, 4 for course, 90.5. On camp, our next competitor at number 49 is Troy Palmer with Binya Sarquil, and number 50 will be Ash Sheen with Sheen's Legacy. We are watching on course at this point of time. We are watching Troy Palmer with Binya Sarquil. On camp next in will be contestant number 50, Ash Sheehan with Sheehan's Legacy. 51 will be Ben Roster with Acres and More. And 52 will be David Thorne with She's a Stylish Cat. And that will complete the course for Troy Palmer, our 49th competitor, with 121 in this semi-final round of today's competition. Scores come through for Binya Sarquil. This will be Troy Palmer's 23 for cutout, 57 points for horsework, 3 for course, a total in this round of 83. Number 50 on camp. As we speak this time, it'll be Ash Sheehan. Riding AJ and M.A. Sheehan's nomination, Sheehan's Legacy. Well, that is going to be a camp score for Ash Sheehan and Sheehan's Legacy of 17 points in camp for Ash Sheehan and Sheehan's Legacy. At this point of time, I'm going to hand the microphone over to my good friend and co-host, Karen Butters, and Karen will take us through the next 50 contestants here today in our semi-final of the Willinga Park Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship Camp Draft.
Outside, we watch competitor 51, New South Wales competitor Ben Rossiter, riding Acres Amoa. Moving into camp 52, David Thorne. 53 on standby, Catherine Henksberger. 54, Pete Comiskey. 55, Andrew Turvey. 56 Lauren Finger, 57 Peter Bolton and 58 John Mitchell. Score has come through there for Ben Rossiter of a 22, 59 and 4 for a total of 85. On camp now we are watching competitor 52, David Thorne, riding She's a Stylish Cat. 53 on standby, Catherine Hengstberger. 54, Pete Comiskey, and 55, Andrew Turvey. Score through for David Thorne of a 23 only. 53 is in camp, Victorian competitor Catherine Hengstberger, riding 2 Beneficial. 54 is on standby, Pete Comiskey. 55, Andrew Turvey, and 56, Lauren Finger. Score through for Catherine Hengstberger of a 23, 62.5 and a 4 for an 89.5. 54 on camp, looking over his cattle, is Queensland competitor Pete Comiskey, riding Bungabi Elegant Spin. 55 is on standby at the gate, Andrew Turvey on Knipes Destiny's Playgirl. 56, Lauren Finger will ride Miss Brooks Boone. 57, Peter Bolton will ride Reflex. 58, John Mitchell will ride Hall's Chicken Man. 59 is Mark Wortman riding Smith Family Toronto, and 60 will be Ken Mile riding Reba. Score through for Pete Comiskey, 22.5, 62 and 4 for an 88.5. 55 on camp, we watch Andrew Turvey riding Knipes Destiny's Playgirl. 56 on standby, Lauren Finger. 57, Peter Bolton, and 58, John Mitchell. Have a score here for Andrew Turvey of 22, 62.5 and 4 for an 88.5. 56 on camp, looking over her cattle, Lauren Finger, riding Miss Brooks Boone. 57 will be next into camp, Peter Bolton. 58 on standby, John Mitchell. 59, Mark Wortman. And 60, Ken Mile. Score has come through for Lauren Finger of a 20.5 only. 57 in camp is Victorian competitor Peter Bolton, riding Reflex. 58 on standby, John Mitchell. 59, Mark Wortman. 60, Ken Mild. 61, Zeb Pearce. 62, Matthew Moffat. 63, Brett Rowlandson. 64, Evan Hiscock. 65, Zoe Willis. And 66, Zach Jackson. Score through there for Peter Bolton of a 17 only. Into camp, competitor 58. We watch New South Wales competitor John Mitchell riding Hall's Chicken Man. 59, you'll be next in camp, Mark Wortman on Smith Family Toronto. 60 will be Ken Mile riding Reba. 61, Zeb Pearce on Metallic Jewel. And 62, Matthew Moffat riding Snapchat. Score through for John Mitchell of a camp score 22 only. In camp now, looking over his cattle, competitor 59, Mark Wortman riding Smith Family Toronto. Next into camp will be 60, Ken Miles. 61, Zeb Pearce. And 62, Matthew Moffat. Score through for Mark Wortman of a 19.5. 60 is in camp. New South Wales competitor Ken Mile riding Reba. 61 will be next in. Zeb Pearce. 62 Matthew Moffat. 63 Brett Rowlandson. 64 Evan Hiscock. 65 Zoe Willis. 66 Zach Jackson. 67 Matt Holtz. 68 Luke Bennett and 69 Bonnie Hiscock. Score through there for Ken Mile of 21 only. 61 in camp, we have Zeb Pearce riding Metallic Jewel. 62 on standby, Matt Moffat. 63 Brett Rowlandson and 64 will be Evan Hiscock. Score through for Zeb Pearce of 21.5, 61.5 and a 4 for a total of 87. In camp now, looking over his cattle, competitor 62, Matthew Moffat, riding Snapchat. 63 on standby, Brett Rowlandson on Les Walt Pretty. 64, Evan Hiscock on Cartel. 65, Zoe Willis on Harmony Acres. 66, Zach Jackson on Destined for More. 67, Matt Holtz riding Hunterview Hard Hat Max. 68, Luke Bennett will ride Stereo Cat. Score through for Matt Moffat of a 22, 61.5 and a 4 for an 87.5. 63 in camp, Brett Rowlandson riding Les Walt Pretty. 64 on standby, Evan Hiscock. 65, Zoe Willis. 66, Zach Jackson. 67, Matt Holtz. And 68, Luke Bennett. We have a score there for Brett Rollinson of a 21.5, a 62 and a 4, for an 87.5 total. In camp now, looking over his cattle, 64, Evan Hiscock, riding Cartel. 65 will be next in, Zoe Willis. 66, Zach Jackson. 67, Matt Holtz. And 68 will be Luke Bennett. If you've just tuned in on the live stream, you are watching the semi-final of the Willinga Park Ringers Western Gold Buckle Open Championship Camp Draft. This is the semi-final of the Open. We have 121 competitors in this semi-final. Score through for Evan Hiscock of a 23, 62 and 4 for a total of 89. 65 is in camp, Zoe Willis riding Harmony Acres. On standby, 66, Zach Jackson on Destined for More. 67, Matt Holtz will ride Hunter View Hard Hat Max. 68 will be Luke Bennett on Stereo Cat. 69, Bonnie Hiscock will ride TKP Sundowner. 70 will be Cameron Jones on Jats Bar Blackjack, and 71 Sue Willis riding Duke's Boot. Score through there for Zoe Willis of a 22 only. 66 in camp, Zach Jackson from Victoria riding Destined for More. 67 on standby is Matt Holtz, and 68 will be Luke Bennett. Score through there for Zach Jackson of a 22 only. Into camp, competitor 67, Matt Holtz riding Hunter View Hard Hat Max. 68 on standby, Luke Bennett. 69, Bonnie Hiscock. 70, Cameron Jones, and 71, Sue Willis. So just a message that there will be no arena drag or prep at 100. We'll be going straight through to the end of this semi-final of the Open. So there will be no arena drag at 100. And there are 121 competitors in this semi-final of the Open Draft. We'll be going straight through to competitor 121 with no drag. In camp we have competitor 67, Matt Holtz. 68 on standby, Luke Bennett. That's a 21 only there for Matt Holtz. 68 in camp looking over his cattle, Luke Bennett riding Stereo Cat. 69 on standby will be Bonnie Hiscock. 70 Cameron Jones, 71 Sue Willis, 72 William Chugg and 73 Chris Nicholson. Score there for Luke Bennett of a 22 only. 69 in camp is Victorian competitor Bonnie Hiscock riding TKP Sundowner. 70 will be on standby Cameron Jones. 71 Sue Willis, 72 William Chugg, 73 Chris Nicholson, 74 Henry Quilty, 75 John Turvey and 76 Peter Garlick. Score through there for Bonnie Hiscock of a 21 only. In camp now, we have competitor 70, Cameron Jones, riding Jats Bar Blackjack. 71 on standby. Next into camp will be Sue Willis, riding Duke's Boots. 72, William Chugg will ride Bailey's Hooligan. 73, Chris Nicholson on Wallaroo Cognito. 74, Henry Quilty on Extra Boot. And 75, John Turvey riding Flow. Score has come through for Cameron Jones of a 22, 63 and 4 for a total of 89. 71 on camp. We watch New South Wales competitor Sue Willis riding Duke's Boot. 72 on standby William Chugg. 73 Chris Nicholson and 74 Henry Quilty. So just a note for everybody, that cutout, the final tonight will be at 6 p.m. tonight. So please note that 6 p.m. that cutout will start, and the VIP tent is going to be open to the public again today from 4 till 9 p.m. So the perfect spot to watch that cutout tonight at 6 p.m. Then we will head over to the bar over there, to the big stage, for the Chris McGrath, who is our performer for tonight. So wonderful afternoon of events here at Willinga Park. Score there for Sue Willis of a 21, 58.5 and a 4 for a total of 83.5. We are now watching competitor 72, William Chugg, riding Bailey's Hooligan. 73 will be next into camp, Chris Nicholson on Wallaroo Cognito. 74, Henry Quilty, riding Extra Boot. 75, John Turvey on Flow. 76, Peter Garlick on Mini. 77, Wyatt Young on Cantor Park, Kid You Not. 78, Sally Long on Alpha Century. And 79 will be Pete Comiskey riding Yavin Smooth Sailing. Score through for William Chugg of a 21.5 only. In camp now, 73, Chris Nicholson from New South Wales riding Wallaroo Cognito. 74 will be next into camp, Henry Quilty, and 75 on standby, John Turvey. Score has come through for Chris Nicholson of a 21 only. 74 is in camp. New South Wales competitor Henry Quilty riding Extra Boot. 75 will be on standby, John Turvey on Flow. 76, Peter Garlick riding Mini, and 77 we will see Wyatt Young riding Cantor Park, Kid You Not. It's lunchtime, and so please remember to head over to the food stalls. We have Hello Huey, the Clyde River Berry Farm, the Rotary. We've got Curbside Feast, Blue Nami Cheese Japanese, the Here and Now Coffee Van, Fruitalicious, the Butcher's Block, the Men's Shed, Wandering Wood-Fired Pizza and Gelato. So a sensational roundup of wonderful food trades. Please go over there, and don't forget, while you're over there, to take some time and have a look through the Trade Village with all those wonderful trade sites there. Some amazing things to see. Score through there for Henry Quilty of a 15 only. We'll have a tidy up in the camp now, and we will see 75, John Turvey from Queensland riding Flow. 76 on standby. Next into camp will be Peter Garlick. 77 on standby, Wyatt Young. 78, Sally Long. 79, Pete Comiskey. 80, Luke Hardwick. 81, Troy Palmer. 82, Dean Rogers. 83, John Templeton. And 84, David Reeder. Score for John Turvey of A22 only. 76 in camp, New South Wales competitor Peter Garlick riding Mini. 77 on standby, Wyatt Young. 78, Sally Long. 79, Pete Comiskey. And 80, Luke Hardwick. Score through there for Peter Garlick of A21 only. 77 in camp. We have Wyatt Young riding Cantor Park, Kid You Not. 78 on standby. Next into camp will be Sally Long riding Alpha Century. 79, Pete Comiskey will ride Yavin Smooth Sailing. 80, Luke Hardwick will ride Nonda Democracy. 81, Troy Palmer on Razor. 82, Dean Rogers on Even Con. 83, John Templeton riding Diva. 84, David Reeder on Coolum Recon. 85, Luke Cheney on Precious. Score through for Wyatt Young of a 23, 62.5 and a 4 for an 89.5. 78 is in camp now. New South Wales competitor Sally Long riding Alpha Century. 79 on standby will be Pete Comiskey. 80, Luke Hardwick. 81, Troy Palmer. 82, Dean Rogers. And 83, John Templeton. Score through for Sally Long is a 22.44 and 3 for a 69. 79 we watch in camp now is Queensland competitor Pete Comiskey riding Yavin Smooth Sailing. 80 will move into camp, Luke Hardwick. 81 Troy Palmer, 82 Dean Rogers and 83 John Templeton. Score through there for Pete Comiskey of a 17 only. In camp now, competitor 80, Luke Hardwick riding Nonda Democracy. 81 on standby is Troy Palmer riding Razor. 82 Dean Rogers on Even Con. 83 John Templeton riding Diva. 84 David Reeder riding Coolum Recon. 85 Luke Cheney on Precious. And 86 Bradley Comiskey riding Durkin Stylish Quincy. Score there for Luke Hardwick was a 22 only. We are watching competitor 81, Troy Palmer, riding Razor. 82 on standby, Dean Rogers. 83, John Templeton. Score through there for Troy Palmer on Razor was a 15.5, 56.5 and a 4 for a total of 76. Outside, we're watching New South Wales competitor Dean Rogers at 82. 83 is moved into camp. That's John Templeton. 84, David Reeder. 85, Luke Cheney. 86, Bradley Comiskey. Score through there for Dean Rogers of a 22, 62 and 4 for an 88. 83, we watch John Templeton riding Diva. 84 will move into camp. David Reeder riding Coolum Recon. 85, Luke Cheney. 86, Bradley Comiskey. 87, Matthew Moffat. 88, Matt Holtz. 89, Zach Sefton. And 90 will be Hugh Miles. Score through there for John Templeton of a 23, 64 and 4 for a total of 91. 84, we watch David Reeder riding Coolum Recon. 85, Luke Cheney on Precious. 86, Bradley Comiskey on Durkin's Stylish Quincy. 87, Matthew Moffat on Curry's Connection. 88, Matt Holtz will ride Moondance. 89, Zach Sefton riding Would He Be Good. And 90 will be Hugh Miles riding Smart and Spicy. Score through there for David Reeder riding Coolum Recon of a 22, 62.5 and a 4 for a total of 88.5. In camp, or actually outside, we watch competitor 85, Luke Cheney riding Precious. 86 will move into camp, Bradley Comiskey. 87, Matthew Moffat. 88, Matt Holtz. Score through there for Luke Cheney of a 22, 62 and 4 for an 88. Outside, we watch competitor 86, Bradley Comiskey riding Durkin's Stylish Quincy. 87 will move into camp, Matt Moffat. 88, Matt Holtz. 89 on standby, Zach Sefton. Score there for Bradley Comiskey of a 23 only. 87 on camp is Matthew Moffat riding Curry's Connection. 88 will be on standby, Matt Holtz on Moondance. 89, Zach Sefton and 90, Hugh Miles. Score has come through for Matthew Moffat of a 22, 57.5 and a 3, for a total of 82.5. 88 is in camp. New South Wales competitor Matt Holtz riding Moondance. 89 on standby is Zach Sefton on Would He Be Good. 90 will be Hugh Miles on Smart and Spicy. 91 Andrew Turvey will ride Cats and Cons. 92 Sam Campbell on SDP Scott David. 93 Matt Beaches riding Allel Spinifex. 94 Ben Rossiter riding Benediction, and 95 will be Annette Fitzgerald riding Bruce. Score through there for Matt Holtz of a 20, 61 and 4 for a total of 85. In camp now, competitor 89, New South Wales competitor Zach Sefton riding Would He Be Good. 90 will be on standby Hugh Miles on Smart and Spicy. 91 Andrew Turvey on Cats and Cons. 92 Sam Campbell on SDP Scott David. So just a reminder, competitors, there will be no arena drag at 100. We are going straight on to the end of this semi-final of the open draft here, the Willinga Park Ringers Western Gold Buckle Championship Camp Draft. This is the semi-final of the open. We have 121 competitors and we'll be going through, right through, without that arena drag. Also tonight we have that cutout, the final of the cutout at 6 p.m. tonight, and that VIP tent will be open to the public from 4 till 9 p.m. We have that tonight. After that feature cutout, we have the live music on the big stage with Chris McGrath. So don't hesitate to join us all over there tonight for all of the wonderful entertainment. Score there for Zach Sefton of a 16 only. 90 in camp looking over his cattle is Hugh Miles from New South Wales riding Smart and Spicy. 91 will be Andrew Turvey, 92 Sam Campbell, 93 Matt Beaches and 94 Ben Rossiter. Score through for Hugh Miles riding Smart and Spicy of a 22.5, 63 and 4 for an 89.5. 91 in camp we have Andrew Turvey riding Cats and Cons. 92 on standby Sam Campbell on SDP Scott David. 93 Matt Beaches on Ali Spinifex. 94 Ben Rossiter on Benediction. 95 Annette Fitzgerald riding Bruce. 96 Troy Palmer riding Dream. 97 Pete Comiskey on Time Checks. 98 Wyatt Young riding Macon Hats after Shakira. Score through there for Andrew Turvey of a 22 only. In camp now, 92, we have Sam Campbell riding SDP Scott David. 93 on standby at the gate, Matt Beaches. 94, Ben Rossiter. Score through there for Sam Campbell of 22.58.5 and 3 for a total of 83.5. We are watching on camp 93, Matt Beaches riding LL Spinifex. 94 will move into camp, Ben Rossiter. 95 on standby, Annette Fitzgerald. 96, Troy Palmer. 97, Pete Comiskey. Score has come through for Matt Beaches of a 22.5 only. 94 in camp, Ben Rossiter riding Benediction. 95 on standby. Next into camp, Annette Fitzgerald. 96, Troy Palmer. 97, Pete Comiskey. 98 will be Wyatt Young. 99, Pat Hardwick. And 100 will be Lockie Sims. So just a reminder, competitors, we are not stopping to do a drag of the arena. We'll be going straight on to 101, Michael Reid, 102, Rob Leach, and 103, Matthew Whipp. There are 121 competitors in this semi-final of the open draft today here at the beautiful Willinga Park. And we will go on this afternoon to the maiden final and the novice final. And then, of course, tonight at 6 p.m, we will see that feature cutout. Score through there for Ben Rossiter of a 22.62 and 4 for an 88 total. 95 we watch in camp, New South Wales competitor Annette Fitzgerald riding Bruce. 96 you'll be next into camp, Troy Palmer riding Dream. 97 Pete Comiskey will ride Time Checks. 98 Wyatt Young will ride Macon Hats Off to Shakira. 99 Pat Hardwick on Shadow Park Exclusive, and 100 Lockie Sim on Enchanted Acres. 101 Michael Reid on All Stars Famous Acres, and 102 will be Rob Leach riding Hell's Destiny. Score there for a net of a 22 only. Troy Palmer is in camp at 96 riding Dream, and Pete Comiskey you'll be next in camp at 97. On his way out the gate is Troy Palmer riding Dream. At 96, 97 will be into camp, Pete Comiskey. 98 Wyatt Young. Score there for Troy Palmer of a 23, 62 and 4 for a total of 89. At the front of the camp we are watching Pete Comiskey at 97, riding time checks. 98 Wyatt Young, 99 Pat Hardwick and 100 will be Lockie Sim. Score for Pete Comiskey on time checks of a 23, 63.5 and a 4 for a total of 90.5. 98 in camp now is Wyatt Young, riding Macon Hats off to Shakira. 99 on standby will be Pat Hardwick. 100 Lockie Sim. 101 Michael Reid. 102 Rob Leach. 103 Matthew Whipp. 104 Peter Bolton. 105 Matthew Moffat. 106 Glenn Coleman. Score through there for Wyatt Young of a 22, 55 and 3 for a total of 80. In camp now, competitor 99, Pat Hardwick from Victoria, riding Shadow Park exclusive. 100 will be Lockie Sim on Enchanted Acres. 101 Michael Reid will ride All Stars Famous Acres. 102 Rob Leach on Hell's Destiny. 103 Matthew Whipp on Breeze. Score there for Pat Hardwick of a 21 only. 100 is in camp. Lockie Sim riding Enchanted Acres. 101 Michael Reid, you'll be next in camp on All Stars Famous Acres. 102 Rob Leach. 103 Matthew Whipp. 104 Peter Bolton and 105 Matthew Moffat. Score through there for Lockie Sim on Enchanted Acres of a 16, 59 and 4 for a total of 79. In camp now, competitor 101 is Michael Reid riding All Stars Famous Acres, 102 on standby Robert Leach, 103 Matthew Whip. I'm going to hand over to my good friend and co-announcer Leslie Deneen.
Thank you, Karen. We move on down to competitor 101, Michael Reid and All Stars Famous Acres. He's out on the course. Into the camp goes 102, Robert Leach, standby 103, Matthew Whip, 104, Peter Bolton, 105, Matthew Moffat, 106, Glenn Coleman, 107, Hugh Miles, 108, Matt Holz, 109, Andrew Turvey, and 110 will be Zeb Pearce. So they'll be our next few competitors, but we're currently watching competitor 101, Michael Reid and All Stars Famous Acres. And he has a cutout of 20.5 for Michael Reid. Robert Leach now selecting a beast. He's competitor 102, riding Hell's Destiny. This is Robert's own nomination. Standing by 103, Matthew Whip's Breeze, 104, Peter Bolton's Mellow Man, and 105, Matthew Moffat's One Time Divine. And I'm sure you've heard about it, but we'll just mention it once again. I believe there's been quite a response over at the information desk. The Willinga bus tours for Friday and Saturday, they're available today and tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. The tour takes you around the entire park and shows you the history of Willinga Park and Terry's vision for the property. The tour takes approximately 25 to 30 minutes and tickets are available from the information stand. They are $10 per ticket for adults. So come and over there and book your seat on the bus. Tickets are selling fast, so make sure you book your seat. The pickup will be from the roundabout below the info stand. So if you'd like to have a look, I would recommend having a look. There are some magnificent gardens, magnificent statues, and just to drive past the stables if you haven't been there is certainly a beautiful tour. So I would definitely recommend that tour. And we'll have a score very shortly for competitor 102, Robert Leach and Hell's Destiny. Cutout 22, horsework 58.5, course 3 for a total of 83.5 for Robert Leach and Hell's Destiny. Matthew Whip is our next competitor, riding Breeze. He comes in as competitor 103, standby 104, Peter Bolton's Mellow Man, 105, Matthew Moffat's One Time Divine, 106, Glenn Coleman's Encore, and 107, Hugh Miles' Vintage Whiskey. Outside, competitor 103, Matthew Whip and Breeze. Don't forget, 6 p.m. for the cutout tonight. It's going to be a very exciting event. And that's a cutout of 22 for Matthew Whip and Breeze. score for Peter Bolton and Mellow Man is the cutout of 22-22. Peter Bolton, competitor 104. Matthew Moffat on camp at 105, One Time Divine. This is Cameron and Kelly Bond's nomination. Big shout out to Kel. Following Matthew, we move down to 106, Glenn Coleman's Encore, and 107, Hugh Miles Vintage Whiskey. Outside, 105, Matthew Moffat and One Time Divine. Glenn Coleman goes on camp at 106, standby 107, Hugh Miles, 108, Matt Holes, 109, Andrew Turvey, 110, Zeb Pearce, and 111, Tim Hollis. If those competitors could please stand by. Don't forget the live music tonight. Chris McGrath, apparently he's really a rocker. They tell me he's a great musician, so that's something not to be missed. And also the VIP tent will be open to the public again today from 4 till 9 p.m. And we'll have a score for Matthew Moffat, One Time Divine. Cutout 23, horsework 56, course 3 for a total of 82. It's 82 points for Matthew Moffat and One Time Divine. Outside 106, Glenn Coleman and Encore will have his score very shortly. Cut out of 22 for Glenn Coleman and Encore. Hugh Miles is on camp at 107, Vintage Whiskey. Standing by, we have 108, Matt Holes, Pink and Yellow, 109, Andrew Turvey, Tell Us I'm Smooth, 110, Zeb Pearce, Condoleezza Acres, and 111 will be Tim Hollis's Adios Envy. Hugh Miles we watch, competitor 107 with Vintage Whiskey. Matt Holes goes on camp at 108, Pink and Yellow. Then we'll have 109, Andrew Turvey, Tell Us I'm Smooth. Score for Hugh Miles and Vintage Whiskey, cut out 24, horsework 62.5, 4.5. 4 for the course for a total of 90.5. I'll give that to you again. Cut out 24, horsework 62.5, course 4 for a 90.5. It's a 90.5 run for Hugh Miles and Vintage Whiskey. We move down to competitor 108, Matt Holes and Pink and Yellow. This is nominated by G&J Pastoral Company, and that is out on the course with Pink and Yellow, competitor 108. 109 is on camp, Andrew Turvey with Telesign Smooth. Standing by 110, Zeb Pearce, Condoleezza Acres. 111, Tim Hollis's Adios Envy. 112, Michael Hiscock, Mewburn Solution. 113, Jared Sutton's Pickle. 114, Wyatt Young's Nashville Nightman. And 115 will be Pete Comiskey and Bungabi Elegant Spin. Those competitors could stand by. And we'll give you a score very shortly for competitor 108, Matt Holes and Pink and Yellow. Cutout score for Matt Holes of 21, horsework 62.5, course 4 for a total of 87.5. 87.5 for Matt Holes and Pink and Yellow. Now watch competitor 109, Andrew Turvey and Telesign Smooth, and this horse is one of the horses that are for sale from Willinga Park. So if you're interested in purchasing Telesign Smooth or any of the other horses that we've mentioned, please go and see Andrew Turvey. This week would be great. Standing by would be 110, Zeb Pearce, Condoleezza Acres, and 111, Tim Hollis's Adios Envy. Score for Andrew Turvey and Telesign Smooth, cut out 22.5, horsework 59.5, course 4 for a total of 86. 86 for Andrew Turvey and Telesign Smooth. Zeb Pearce is underway. He's out on course already. Competitor 110, riding Condoleezza Acres. And that was Ted Hammond's nomination, Condoleezza Acres, and he has a cutout of 22. 22 for Zeb Pearce, competitor 110. $111 on camp. Tim Hollis, Adios Envy. Standing by 112, Michael Hiscock. 113, Jared Sutton. 114, Wyatt Young. 115, Pete Comiskey. 116, Troy Palmer. 117, Dean Rogers. 118, Mick Southern. 119, Chris Nicholson. 120, Evan Hiscock. And 121, last but not least, will be John Mitchell and Con Sissy. So not many horses left to run to complete the Gold Buckle semi-final. We move down, though, to competitor 111, Tim Hollis and Adios Envy. Just letting you know, the maiden final will be kicking off at 2 p.m, just to give you a heads up. The maiden final should start at approximately 2 p.m. Tim Hollis we watch, competitor 111 with Adios Envy. Michael Hiscock's gone camp with Mewburn Solution at 112, standby 113, Jared Sutton's Pickle. Score for Tim Hollis and Adios Envy. Cut out 21, horsework 63.5, course 4 for an 88.5. 21, 63.5 and 4 for an 88.5 for Tim Hollis and Adios Envy. He's underway already too. Competitor 112, Michael Hiscock, riding Mewburn Solution. Score for Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Solution. Cut out 21, horsework 61, course 4 for an 86. 86 points for Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Solution. Next competitor 113, Jared Sutton and Pickle. Then we'll have 114, Wyatt Young, Nashville Nightman. 115, Pete Comiskey, Bungabi, Elegant Spin. 116, Troy Palmer's Blue Tunes. And 117, Dean Rogers, JP Impact. And we'll have a cutout score of 21.5 for Jared Sutton and Pickle. Selecting his beast is competitor 114, Wyatt Young, riding Marge Hindle's Nashville Nightman. Imagine bred by Trevor Nash. Standing by 115, Pete Comiskey and Bungabi, Elegant Spin. And we'll have 116, Troy Palmer and Blue Tunes. So just to keep you up to speed, we have about 9 competitors left to run to complete the Gold Buckle semi-final. And he's outside competitor 114, Wyatt Young and Nashville Nightman. Score for Wyatt Young and Nashville Nightman, owned by Marge Hindle. Cut out 22, horsework 63, course 4, for a total of 89. That's an 89-point run for Wyatt Young and Nashville Nightman. $115 is our next competitor, Peter Comiskey, with Bungabi, Elegant Spin. Standing by 116, Troy Palmer, Blue Tunes, and we'll have 117, Dean Rogers, JP Impact. 118, Mick Southern's Hostess. 119, Chris Nicholson's Wendell, and 120 will be Evan Hiscock's Nix. Just another reminder that we will be doing the maiden final at 2 p.m. So just a reminder for competitors as well as the arena draggers, we will be doing the maiden final at 2 p.m. Okay, this is Shakespeare's nomination. Peter Comiskey aboard, and we'll have a score for Pete shortly. Score for Pete Comiskey and Bungabi Elegant Spin, cut out 22.5, horsework 64, course 4 for a 90.5. 22.5, 64 and 4 for a 90.5 for Pete Comiskey and Bungabi Elegant Spin. Now watch competitor 116, Troy Palmer and Blue Tunes. Dean Rogers, you'll be in the camp next with JP Impact at 17. Stand by 18, Mick Southern's Hostess. Score for Troy Palmer and Blue Tunes, cut out 23, horsework 63.5, course 4 for a 90.5. 23, 63.5 and a 4 for 90.5 for Troy Palmer and Blue Tunes. 6 horses left to run to complete the Gold Buckle semi-final. Next competitor will be 117, Dean Rogers and JP Impact. Score for Dean Rogers and JP Impact, cut out 22.5. Mick Southern we move to, he's competitor 118, riding Hostess. This is our Queensland competitor. Mick Southern, then we'll have 119, Chris Nicholson's Wendell, 120, Evan Hiscock's Nix, and our last competitor will be 121, John Mitchell's Consissi. This is competitor 118, Mick Southern and Hostess. Score coming through for Mick Southern and Hostess. Cut out 22, horsework 64, course 4 for a 90. 22, 64 and 4 for 90 points for Mick Southern and Hostess. Not sure if we thanked Jonathan McDonald and Joe Payne in the last hour or so, but very big thank you to our judges for this particular draft. Thank you for taking the opportunity to come to Willinga Park and do this job for us. Very much appreciated. And his outside, competitor 119, Chris Nicholson and Wendell. Score for Chris Nicholson and Wendell. Cut out 21.5, horsework 58, course 3 for an 82.5. It's an 82.5 for Chris Nicholson and Wendell. 120 on camp, Evan Hiscock and Nix. And then last but not least, competitor 121, John Mitchell and Consissi. Just remember the maiden final will commence at 2 p.m. And just want to also talk about our food stalls over there. I believe they're very, very happy. They're selling quite a bit of stuff, so they must be okay. Hello Huey, Clyde River, Berry Farm, Rotary, Curbside Feast, Blue Nami, Japanese, Here and Now Coffee, Fruitalicious, The Butcher's Block, The Men's Shed, Wandering Wood, Fired Pizza, and Gelato. So go and support our wonderful food stalls. And I have a score here for Evan Hiscock and Nix. And he has a cutout score of 23, horsework 65, course 4 for a total of 92. That's a 92-point run for Evan Hiscock and Nix. This is our final competitor in this round. It'll be competitor 121, John Mitchell with Con Sissy. He's out on the course. Watching competitor 121, John Mitchell and Con Sissy. And John has a cutout of 23, horsework 59, course 3 for a total of 85. That's an 85-point run. John Mitchell and Con Sissy. So that completes the gold buckle semi-final. Top score there was a 92, just ran from Evan Hiscock and Nix. Great drafting this afternoon. We'll just do some arena prep. In the meantime, I will hand you over to Glenn Morgan, co-announcer. And he will commence the maiden final. The maiden final, that will be at 2 o'clock.
Well, wasn't that a Campdraft round, a semi-final? I don't think there's been any better. I'm here with the two judges now. What did you think about that, Jono?
Yeah, look, the cattle definitely make it a lot easier to judge when the cattle are really good. There's some really good runs there. You can get a good gauge on it when the cattle are that good.
It was almost like a clinic out there with Hugh Miles and Pete Kaminsky and Troy Palmer just putting one after another around and around for some big scores. It is going to make for an interesting final tomorrow when we come down to the final 30.
Oh, look, it definitely is. Like, this could come down to 0.5 of a point to actually have to win it. So it's going to be very, very interesting final.
I'm almost going to predict there's going to be a runoff. I'm going to talk to Joe here. What's been the vibe so far? You guys have been now judging for 3 days. How does it feel getting to the pointy end?
It's always nice, I think, when you get to close to the end and find the winner, I suppose. But like those cattle in that semi-final, that's incredible, and like allow people to show off their horsework, and couldn't ask for any better, I don't think.
And just to give the viewers at home a bit of an insight, I guess, we got to see what it took to really break the 90s today. There was lots of them. But as judges, what is it that you guys are looking for when you're out there scoring?
I'm looking for a horse that's just happy to do its job on its own, and then outside be, taking ground off them where they can, and do what they've got to do.
And what about yourself, Jono?
Yeah, look, them good horses, you can nearly see them start to check before they actually even pull on the reins. Like, there's some amazing horses out there, and yeah, it'll make for some really good watching in the final to watch these, showcase their top-class horses.
All right, well, I'll let you two boys go because you need to get your rest. It's going to be a big day tomorrow deciding who's going to be the 2025 Ringers Western Gold Buckle Campdraft champion. Thank you again. Fantastic judging, fantastic cattle. I'll just do a little bit of a quick wrap-up here, just looking at the top 10. Like I said, it was an absolutely exquisite round of camp drafting. It's probably the most exciting semi-final that I've seen over the years that I've been visiting here at Willinga. We had Evan Hiscock just come out in the last couple of horses and run a 92 to take the lead. We had a couple of 91s with John Templeton and his mare Indiva, owned by Beau Frame. We also had Pete Comiskey with a 91 on their beautiful stallion Roy. He was, again, just phenomenal in that final. We got Hugh Miles on More Spoonful. And just to sort of have a little bit of a shout out to Hugh Miles, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 there in the top 10 horses. Just incredible work with a 90.5 on 2 of his rides, 3 of his rides, I should say, having a 90.5, incredible. And then we're back to Pete Comiskey again in time checks with a 90.5. Pete Comiskey again with a 90.5. And, of course, Troy Palmer there with a 90.5 as well on Blue Tunes. So it was just an outstanding round to watch. And I think it's going to make it so close when it comes back tomorrow when we start looking at that final. Like I said, I think I'm almost going to call it early. I feel like there is going to be potentially a runoff here tomorrow because we have some really big scores, big-time riders that are going to be riding off on these beautiful Hereford cattle. We're going to see here, it is looking pretty lonely. When I've got this microphone and we go live, it's almost like they avoid me like the plague. So I'm going to throw it back to you guys, and we'll see if we can catch up with some people and see what the vibe is out there from the spectators.